We are delighted to have you all with us today as to continue to explore the fascinating world of artificial intelligence through a variety of insightful initiatives. We are committed to advancing the field of AI, and we are excited to share with you some of the latest developments, research, and applications in this ever evolving domain. We hope that today's session would be a great opportunity, not only you to broaden your understanding of AI, but also inspire you to contribute to the ongoing dialogue and innovation in this field. So, without further ado, let's start our discussion. So, let me introduce our distinguished speaker with us today, Mr. Ashan Priyadarshana, Senior Technical Lead of Sysco Labs, and renowned for his expertise in AI and innovation. With a wealth of experience in harnessing AI to drive business growth, um, he's here to share his expertise and valuable insights, latest trends in this exciting field. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be welcome, Ms. Ashan Priyadarshana, for continuing the session. It's over to you, Stasha.
All right, thank you, Jane. So, yeah, with that welcome, just a small kind of a correction. I'm not still not a senior, so senior technical lead, still a technical lead. With that correction, and let me share my screen. All right. Hope everybody can see the screen. Yeah. So all of you might have seen the title like building a successful career in an AI heavy landscape. So originally there's a bit more part than that. So that is from classroom to boardroom. Like so, of course, you need to be able to successfully navigate this AI wave in the coming 5 to 10 years. But I hope most of you guys here are university students, so maybe fresh graduates who are maybe finding jobs or still new at the industry. So yeah, so when I started preparing this document, so I thought of okay, what kind of things as I think you need to master to be able to navigate your future career because future is really volatile and it's I can't 100% predict what's going to happen because so many things are happening concurrently. But if we kind of try to generalize what kind of skills that you need to possess or if you need to kind of acquire over the couple of years to successfully build a better career, right? There are a few things that I can think of, and I kind of did some research for my own also, and I'm continually participate to these kind of talks and listen to these things. So from those, I kind of generally grabbed what kind of things that you need to acquire or what kind of skills you need to master to successfully navigate the next few years at least. So yeah, I'm Ashan Priyadarshana. So I work as a technical lead at Cisco Labs, and I graduated from Morotto, and I have done masters in AI again from Morotto. And then currently I'm working in Cisco Labs, building some AI projects and implementing some AI technologies into existing solutions. So with that also, I have a couple of experience how to bridge this new technology into existing technology and how to start newly AI projects. Kind of this I have uh, kind of good experience. So with that, let's move on. And before moving on, I just need you guys to think of this as a conversation rather me giving you a few points and you listening. Let's try to make this as a conversation because I need your thoughts as well. What do you think? Uh, because then we can make this more engagement, more engaging session. All right. Okay. First, after preparing all these documents and everything, I kind of finally just about 2 or 3 hours back asked gave this topic to ChatGPT and then asked it to generate me an image relevant to this topic, like from classroom to boardroom. What will or how should we successfully navigate the next few years in software engineering? So this is what AI think or DALI things. So here on left hand side, you might see that okay, couple of kids or maybe university students are learning and thinking with laptops, doing mathematical equations, solving problems. And on the right hand side, you might see like okay, the corporate life. But here now in the corporate life, there are robots and it's so kind of cutting edge and so futuristic. But again, this diagram shows the problem in a way, a problem with AI. Today, AI is nothing but a trained model with our existing data, right? So as I think, and couple of, I mean, if there are experts in AI, they would also agree with me. This is not the future, all right? The right hand side is not the future because of AI. It is more like the left hand side. So instead of learning or studying, heavily studying, you will be working in these kind of environments. So your future will not be a very this kind of complex futuristic environment. You with the help of AI or with the introduction of AI to your work, your life would be like the left hand side. It would be more relaxed, a more free kind of a work environment you would have, because that's the reason most of these couple of I mean most of these giants in the industry are um yeah. So most of these giants in the industry are trying to bring in this uh, AGI, right? More advanced AI, because they are trying to implement a new system or a new technology that will free most of our day-to-day hours. So that means we will be able to uh, participate in more activities that we enjoy very much. That's why we are investing so much money. That's why most of these companies are investing so much money, time, and resources on bringing in a technology to the world. Of course, they will be able to make money out of it, but what as general public or even as developers, our life would also be more kind of a freer one, kind of a free lifestyle. So now even now I just completed my work and I'm working from home. So even right now uh, we are kind of we have kind of get into this working remotely thing. So with AI, it will be more kind of a free life in the couple of years. But there's a problem with that. Now, will there be enough jobs, right? I think most of you guys have this in your mind. Will there be enough jobs, or should I do software engineering, and then how will I be able to find jobs? Those kind of problems are there, right? So in the next couple of slides, let's kind of explore that and see what kind of things you need to do to successfully uh, navigate your next couple of years. All right. First things is this again fundamentals. All right. I think knowing fundamentals is more important than ever. I mean, when we are coming to the industry about 5 to 6 years back, yes, we needed to know fundamentals. When we are facing the interview, we needed to know what kind of the basics of programming, basics of languages, and frameworks. But now with AI, most of new engineers or even university engineers think like, okay, now we can simply generate code. Do we need to learn, or at least do we need to remember things like that? But as as I think, and even in most of the researchers also say, knowing basics or the fundamentals of software engineering is very important now than ever, because uh, now first thing is, in the next couple of years, with this new technology, with the AI will create very complex frameworks. All right. Uh, so now we know, you might know, like there are frameworks like for backend, there are Spring Boot, and from Python, maybe there are Django, or for front end, there are frameworks like React. So yes, those are the current frameworks. But now with the introduction, or with this AI power, the developers who are developing these frameworks or technologies, they will be able to implement more complex solutions on top of that frameworks, or they will improve these frameworks to have more advanced features. All right. So now imagine, let's take for an example, maybe this React framework. All right. I'll take the example of React because it's a front end one, and it's bit easy. So with that example, let's think that this React framework, it will have more advanced features to make a front end application more secure. It will have advanced methods to uh, pass the data between different pages, a more advanced and a more secure approaches. So they will come, for sure, they will come. But when you are trying to use those and implement those, now those things are a bit complex. To understand these complex, you must know basics, because by combining these basic principles in those frameworks, or even in the language, more advanced these kind of features will get implemented. So next versions of frameworks, or next versions of maybe even the languages, right? Even the next versions of Java will be so complex. Without knowing the basics, you won't be able to use it. So to use these things in the next few years, you must know basics to your bones. So that is a must. And so those who do not master this, right? Those who do not grab the concepts, basic concepts, won't be able to survive in the next couple of years. So uh, put your effort, understanding the basics, learn about the basics, and think in terms of these basics. Because without that, as I explained, you won't be able to use the next versions of software languages or frameworks or anything, because they will get complicated, and they will get complex. So here I have I mean, mentioned some simple examples that, as I think that uh, to showcase this, right? Now, um, I know that most of you are using ChatGPT, or maybe even Gemini, maybe to write documents, even to write code, right? So I don't categorize, so I don't label it as bad. You have to use it. You have to use ChatGPT and Gemini to generate code. It's simple, right? There's no doubt in that. If someone says like, okay, you should not use that, so it's a stupid decision, because you have a great power. You have a great power that can generate code. You have to use it. But how do you use it is the problem. Because if you blindly use it, you will be kind of a dumb person. I mean, when you are continuing to use that, or if you are using it wrongly. So, why I mentioned about these basics is that knowing these basics, you can optimize, or you can arrange your prompts to get a better code, right? So for an example, let's say that you are developing a social media feed, kind of a news, kind of Instagram or maybe Facebook. So there we have the feed that shows the post and whatever the things that other your friends have shared. So if you are to implement it, you some of the developers or the engineers might say, okay, I need to generate a page that shows social media post. Okay, he will enter that into the prompt and he will ask, okay, give me the code for that. Yes, ChatGPT or Gemini or any other these new tools, the code generation tools, will give that output, and he will take that code and paste it in whatever the ID, and he will compile it and generate it. It will work, yes, but that's going to work for your university projects or your personal projects. But when you come into the industry, the software industry, so you are not a single person. You have to work with others, right? And you have to manage this code. So if you blindly take this code and put it in whatever the thing and build it, all right, it will work for the first time. That's okay. All right, now comes the next part. Okay, there you need to do a modification. All right, now you have to understand whatever the code that you have copy pasted from the uh, code generation tool. So if you don't understand that code, how are you going to modify it? So that's why from the start, from even from the first prompt that you are trying to uh, type and get the code out, you have to think, okay, how do I manage this project, or how do I manage the data in this maybe web page in this example? How do I manage it? Where do I, in what kind of data structure should I keep this data? So you have to do that thinking in your head, and then only you have to ask for the code. All right. If not, because you can't manage that code going forward. For an example, here in our example, like a social media feed, you can say like, okay, using heaps and hash maps and React hooks, generate me a page that can manage and display post. All right. Now here you have specifically asked the prompt or whatever the code generation tool. Okay, use heaps, use hash maps, and use React, and from React hooks. Like that, you have specifically asked. Okay, these are the technologies that you should use to generate this code. Like that, now you know, since you developed it and you prompted it. Okay, this code contains these. One important thing is you will learn from this generated code and you know the code. All right. So to do that, obviously you need to know what are heaps, what are hash maps, what is React, what is the concept of hooks in React, life cycle methods in React, server rendered code, client rendered code, those kind of everything you need to understand. So without knowing those fundamentals, how are you going to enter this kind of a prompt? So that's the problem. Even the second example and the third example. So let's think of a recommendation system. So now you are trying to build a recommendation system. So they are for recommendation systems. A recommendation system is like, okay, what kind of post should I show to this user, or what kind of items? So if you are building a e-commerce website, take Daras for an example, something like that. So what kind of products or items should I display to this user? So those are recommendation systems, right? So now you need to implement the algorithm or the solution for this recommending part. But for that, like earlier, one can simply ask, okay, give me a code, maybe even in Python, for a recommendation system to implement a recommendation algorithm. Um, Again, another person would ask, okay, generate me a code for a recommendation system using matrix factorization and collaborative to develop a collaborative filtering. So to give a such kind of a prompt, you need to know what is metric factorization, right? That comes from maths. So like that, you should never forget your basics. And why I mention like basics are more important than ever. If you truly know your basics and if you truly understand your basics, you can implement great things with AI now. Because earlier we did not have, so we know the basics, but we have to write the code, right? Knowing the basics is not enough. We have to type and we have to debug and do everything. So it took so much time. Although we knew great basics or great theories or beautiful things, we had to implement them. We have to write the code and do things. But now, if you truly understand the basics and uh, the concepts, you can quickly implement great, robust solutions. So uh, to successfully, I mean, navigate to a future career, basics is the number one. Understanding it, knowing it. I'm saying like knowing it to your bone, right? You have to you should be able to think in terms of those basics. So that's the first thing. All right. Now, yes, basics is really important, but now I have seen like most of the engineers, newcomers to the industry, say like, uh, do I really need to even understand? Okay, they might know the basics, but do they really need to understand the code? Because most of them are questioning like, isn't knowing the output is enough, right? So if we are joining a new project or a new, if you are building a new kind of a tool, if you know the output, okay, this is what I need, this kind of output I need, isn't it enough to survive? Or isn't that the need? All right. No, because as I mentioned even earlier, uh, in the software industry or even in the industry, in companies, you are not working alone. You are working um, with couple of colleagues. So there are maybe 4 to 5 software engineers. There are maybe 2 to 3 QA developers, project managers, and everyone, right? So you are not the only person who is generating code. Like that, like you, other developers will also generate code. Okay. And then you should have the ability to understand or uh, what we can say is that even then understand, you should be able to quickly read the code, because the code generated by others might need to, you might need to integrate these codes into your project. So one another thing, so I forgot to mention here is that so most of you guys are using this GitHub Copilot and OpenAI Codex to generate code. There'll be more such tools developed by so many companies, developed by so many startups that will do the code generation. So yes, we have to accept that AI will generate code, but you need to understand it. So first of all, let's I mean, I found a good a small video clip that have that a new startup that quickly created to generate these codes, even web applications, right? So let's look at this that video, and then let's kind of discuss with that kind of tools. Still, do we really need to understand whatever the code generated by these tools? I hope this will work. Let me see. Um, Jenny, you can see still see my screen, right? Okay.
fully functional website ready to launch in just 20 seconds. Yes, they launched like 1 year back. They have more than 200 apps like Uber or Airbnb without a team of thousands of developers. Can we build a and one as a developer can instead of spending months or weeks building a website, and then you launch it just they were like a little bit. Hi, I have been watching seconds. Why don't you try it? And so what's hoping was 35 I will learn, if I am in the right direction or not. But what ended up a tweet viewer in those 40 hours, personal restaurant, we ended up with obviously the document. So that it's like all word of mouth. It's all, definitely a step.
All right. Mhm. Yeah. So now you saw like that she has created a tool that can, with a simple prompt, it will generate even complete website. So this is just a one example. I'm sure you guys have seen. Um, oh yeah. So would you share the link to the? You mean Sasanka, uh, the video chat, the video just I showed.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the link. Yeah, even through chat, I like if you guys can ask questions or uh, uh, put your thoughts there. So yeah, so that is just one example. Like there are so many such tools. When given a prompt, of course, it will generate full websites or full applications uh, for you, right? And then the quality of these tools, the number of these tools will continuously grow in the coming years. But even so, you should not be discouraged on learning about coding, right? I mean, still you need to learn code because, as I was saying a bit earlier, you are working in a corporate life. You will be developing, you will be software engineers for a company. So they are, yes, let's say you use this kind of a tool to generate a complete project or a website. But then there are new business requirements coming in. Yeah, I'll uh, I'll answer to these questions like how to enter to the AI developing industry and everything at the end. But yes, keep the questions coming. Then I'll go through one by one and answer those. Um, so now there's a new requirement. Yes, you used one of these tools and generated a complete web page. But now uh, there's a new requirement. All right, now comes the problem. So now you can't simply ask again, go to this tool and okay, generate me a website having this part also, because the next time this tool might generate a kind of a different one, a web application having a different theme, and these applications also keep on improving. So they are continuously being trained. So then what the new tool generated website will be a completely different one than whatever the one you had, right? So now when you need to do these small changes or new requirements, you will have to understand whatever the code generated by the AI. So um, with AI, so as I was saying, you have to use your this technology or power, but how do you use it is, as I see, through this kind of a iterative process. Like, yes, you have to do whatever the prompt as I showed earlier, and in couple of slides also I'll show you how to uh, form good prompts so that you can get good answers. All right. So you start with the natural language prompt, uh, saying, okay, this is what I need. And then whatever the AI tool will interpret and it will give you a code. All right. Then this, the red box, that is the most important thing. You should have the ability to review this code and debug this code. All right. I don't know. So since most of you guys are university students, this debugging code is a good habit and a good skill that you should master, right? Even in most of the IDs, there's a separate options, separate ways to debug code, right? It's an interesting way. So we can stop the code at certain points and we can inspect the code, what's happening there. So like that, while reading the code or while reviewing the generated code by the AI, you should have the skill to debug it. So that's why I earlier mentioned you should be able to quickly read whatever the code that that uh, that was generated either by you or when you are reviewing a code generated by one of your colleagues who are working with you, because you need to use their code also to integrate and implement features. So now assume you debugged and reviewed your code, and then you find, okay, the generated code by this AI tool is not to your standards, because different companies have different standards. There are standards like naming conventions that they are using, like tools or different software engineering practices are there which are used by different companies. So the company A might be using a different kind of a software engineering practice, company B will be using a different one. So once you review the code, while you are reading the code, you see that, okay, the code generated by this is not following our standard. In that case, you have to modify. You should not go to this step. You should not blindly accept whatever the code generated by it. You have to uh, go to again prompting. So uh, the persons or the ones who don't understand or don't have the skill of reviewing or debugging will blindly accept this code and keep on uh, using that code to uh, implement the feature. So then what happens is, even though you are using AI and a good technology, your product or whatever the thing you are building is going to be very buggy. All right, it's not going to be up to standards. It's going to be really hard to understand. It's going to be difficult to maintain. So although you have a nice technology, a nice tool, so you will be implementing very bad solutions. So that's why you should have the skills to quickly read through the code, quickly review the code, quickly debug the code, even in your mind. Uh, Again, these are some other two such tools that I saw, but since the time is moving so fast, I'll skip that. If we have time, I'll show it, come here and show again. Okay, now I explain for you guys the importance of learning the basics, the importance of ability to read the code, review the code, and debug the code. The next most important thing is, I mean, so this is kind of have the same weight like knowing the basics, is knowing or understanding the uh, given a problem. So you should be able to understand and explain to know that do we need AI to solve that given problem. All right. So now Even now, and in mostly in couple of years, everyone will try to implement some AI into their solution. So everyone will try to implement everything using AI. So you should be able to understand, for this problem, do I really need to use AI? Do I really need to have an AI capability for this solution? So that's a really important skill that you need to have. That means, your project manager or someone comes and say that, okay, let's use AI in our solution. But you should be able to understand, based on the scenario, do we really need to spend a couple of $1 million, uh, maybe couple of weeks, trying to train a new AI model to solve a simple problem? Because AI is going to cost so much money, because training AI models, hosting AI models is going to cost than hosting simple solutions, right? So how do we identify if a problem needs an AI solution, or can we simply write a simple program to solve that? All right. One is, we have to see the complexity of the problem. So if the problem is so complex, so it requires this tacit knowledge. So we call it tacit knowledge, like human intuition, uh, the knowledge gained by a person by working on different kind of a process over many years. The knowledge that he has may be tacit knowledge. We call those kind of knowledge or the experience as tacit knowledge. So if there is a part in the solution or in the process that requires tacit knowledge, yes, that is a good section or part of the problem that we can introduce AI to solve. Or if the problem is too complex, so we can't simply write a code, or we can't think of the logic to solve that problem, yes, then we can use AI to solve it. But if the problem is very simple one, like maybe adding few numbers or sorting few things, then we don't need AI for those kind of solutions, right? It's a very simple one. We can think of the simple algorithm to it. So then no point of using AI to solve those kind of problems. So first thing is, given a problem, to identify whether do we need to use AI or not, is looking at the complexity of the problem. If the problem is too complex, very difficult to write the code for that, yes, AI is a good option. Then if this problem involves in large amounts of data, so one example is, we have to go through vast amounts of data to give an answer. In that case, then that is a good candidate to implement a AI solution. So if the decision or if the solution that we are implementing is a decision system, giving us a decision, and if it involves so much of data, maybe thousands or 10,000s of data, then AI is a uh, using AI to for that part is a good option. And if we need to automate few things, so if we need to uh, there is a part that we like to automate. In that case, yes, that's AI is a good option. And if another good option section is that if there is a solution, or if there is a problem, that the solution needs to keep on changing. So there is a problem. For this problem, we can't simply write a algorithm or a software piece, because solution for this problem should change over time, or the problem is changing over time. In that case, we need to have a solution which should have the ability to learn with that problem. So if there is a problem in such nature, then yes, AI is a good option. So this these four are the main criteria that you should think to understand whether AI is needed to solve that problem. If these four criteria, so one or two, these criteria are met, then you can use AI for that part. So, uh, such examples are like natural language processing. Yes, it's it's good to have AI for that. Image recognition. Yes, we need to have AI for that because we can't write a program to identify a cat in a picture, right? So even though we have good software or programming languages and everything, with those we can't, given a picture, we can't write a uh, code to identify if there is a cat or not, or what kind of cat is that. To describe the image, we can't write a simple program, right? So that's a very complex one. That involves tacit knowledge, because as humans we can easily say that we can easily recognize. So that is tacit knowledge, human intuition. So for those kind of things, yes, we need to have a predictive analysis. Yeah, predict for predictive analytics, we can use AI. So here I have mentioned a couple of examples, like for you to easily understand the difference between the simple and complex. Like one example would be uh, calculating the sum of numbers in a list. So for that we don't need AI. We can simply write a small code to calculate the numbers in an array or a list. But then predicting the stock market trends, what will happen to the stock in the next hour? What will be the prices? What will be the amounts? Okay, so for that we can't write a simple programming or a code. For that we need to have AI. So that's the difference between simple and complex. And to demonstrate this explicit and implicit knowledge, all right? So sorting a list of names alphabetically. So for that we don't need AI, right? If someone is using AI for that, that's a very dumb thing to do. That's very stupid, because those are very simple things. We can use simple programming code pieces to do those. But understanding customer sentiment, whatever the comments that customers have put in our website or wherever, to understand them, like are they positive comments or are they negative comments? Are they suggesting some new things? To understand those things, we can't write simple programs. For that, we have to use AI. Then for static and dynamic environments, like for a calculator application, we don't need AI. For the in a calculator, there may be, let's take a scientific calculator. There are thousands of operations that we can do. Still, we don't need AI because we know the logic behind it. And it is very static. All the operations plus is plus. Like that, they are not changing. The rules are not changing. But a recommendation system. So, uh, how Facebook behaves for me is not the way how it behaves for someone, for you. So these recommendation systems, they are changing based on the user, based on the time of the day. So then for those kind of systems, we need AI. All right. So in the previous slide, what we talked about was the skill of the skill that you need to gain in order to understand, like if do do a certain problem needs AI or not. The next most important skill that you need to have is the how to integrate these AI solutions into existing uh, software projects, right? Because even though you are not going to be a AI engineer, all right? So I don't think all of you will not go into AI. So your passion may be in back-end development, front-end development, or DevOps, or in other areas. Even though you will need to know how to work with these AI platforms, AI tools, that's a must. All right. So even though you don't understand machine learning, even though you don't understand maths behind it. And I say that you should not do that, right? So if you are not interested in understanding math behind machine learning, math behind AI, so that's fine. If you are interested in developing front-end applications, designing new things, that's okay. But still, you need to know how to work with these AI solutions or whatever the results given by the AI. So, uh, in order to survive this wave, that skill is a must. So that's what I have here uh, uh, noted down. Like in here, the first few points here is the traditional AI pipeline, but it is also different than the one you have seen in your universities. So in universities, you will train a model and use it, right? But when you come to industry and so uh, in projects, you can't simply train a model and use it. You have to now think about how to do that continuously, because uh, how we solve problems and the data is going to grow and the world is going to change. So to get that knowledge, we have to continuously train the model and we have to continuously deploy whatever the model that we trained. And we have to think like, okay, now there are situations like we train a ML model and we already have a trained model in the previous week. So there is a new model we trained yesterday. Okay, how do we uh, measure? Okay, is the previous model good, and is the new model better than the previous model? We need to have the ability to measure that. And then, or do we serve these both models at the same time? Concurrently, do we do that? So there are various things that we need to think in software field, in real world software field. So you need to understand these kind of concepts and think in these uh, terms as well. So it's not just training the model and using it for the rest of the life. We have to think about the continuous training and continuous deployment. Again, so now here I have mentioned like the platforms that you should everybody need to know about, right? Even though you are not an AI engineer or machine learning engineer, you need to know about these platforms like when it comes to AWS. So all of these are cloud platforms, uh, and from these cloud platforms, AI engineers will use these to train and output their results. So AWS SageMaker is such a cloud platform that we can train ML models and we can deploy ML models and the whole AI ML pipeline, right? And then even with Google, there is Google AI platform and there's Vertex AI. Like that, there are platforms that AI engineers or machine learning engineers will use to train and deploy these models or solutions, AI solutions. So if you are not an AI engineer or machine learning engineer, so if you are a front-end developer or even a back-end developer, you need to know about these things and you need to know how to integrate or how to call these platforms and get the results that were generated by the AI solutions. So that skill is still needed, right? You might not be an AI engineer, but you need to know how to integrate or call to these platforms and get the results. So for that, you need to know about APIs. You need to know this A/B testing thing. So previously I mentioned like serving two models concurrently. So you need to know about these things to survive the next 5 to 10 years, this AI wave. All right. So I think this is the last point. Like uh, in perspective of software engineering, uh, now most important skill is earlier it was Googling, right? When we come to industry and even when we were in universities, we said that okay, if someone knows how to Google very well, he can learn things very quickly. He can do things very quickly. But now this Googling concept is going away, fading away. Instead of that, the next wave is prompting or ability to form good questions. So if you know how to ask good questions or form good questions, then you will be able to implement solutions very fast, and those solutions will be robust, without any errors, and most secure. But to form these questions, there are various ways. Now, one here I have shown is these two W's and one H framework, like why, what, and how. That's a nice way to form questions, right? So so like okay, now there is a problem. First is with the why. What we are doing is, for an example, uh, let's take the software engineering example. Why is the web page slow? So that's the first question that you might uh, use to think, right? So now these three things, why, what, and how, are kind of guiding materials to think also. They are like roadways to think. Now, first kind of question that you need to form is, okay, you have to understand why the web page is slow. Here I'm taking a simple example. Let's assume your web application, one page is slow. So, so you can ask, right? So there'll be in the browser, there is this now Gemini available. You can chat in the browser itself with the application open. Okay, you can ask, okay, why is this web page slow? All right, now it will give couple of answers. Okay, saying that this is why. All right, then you have understood with that responses. Okay, database is the issue. All right, then you have to form questions like, okay, what do I need to do to improve the database speed? So from the question why question, you have understood the database is very slow. Then you ask, okay, what do I need to do to increase the database? And then it will give, okay, these are the things that you need to do. Among those answers, then you need to find out, okay, what are the ways to do that solution? So it will prompt or it will output, okay, these are the things that you can do. From then you will select one option, and then you need to ask, okay, what are the ways that I can uh, implement this solution? So that is just one way of uh, forming good questions, right? And then the next important thing is this prompting. All right. Even for prompting, you can use these about three techniques. Other than that, there are various techniques for prompting. I invite you to look. There are things like zero shot learning, one shot learning, few shot learning, like that. Generally, this few shot learning is the one that we should use. That is nothing but when we are prompting with an LLM, you have to give a couple of examples. So if you provide some examples for a prompt, then it tends to give you good results, right? So let's look at a couple of examples, like what are the good prompts and what are the bad prompts. So here, how do I improve my app? That is a very vague prompt, right? They doesn't know what are you talking about, what kind of application are you talking about. But instead, if we give something like this, my app is a fitness tracker. How do I improve user engagement in the daily activity tracking feature? Okay, now the prompt or the LLM knows, okay, this is this kind of an application, and there is a feature like tracking daily activities, and now it will give good results than the previous prompt. And then you have to be clear when you are giving forming prompts. Like now, if someone asks like why microservices are good, here now the ChatGPT or the Gemini, it does not know. Okay, what kind of microservices is this guy talking about? It does not know, right? Instead of that, if we ask of using microservices architecture for a large e-commerce platform, so if we form a question like that, it will give nice answers. So like this, you have to think about how do you give good prompts? How do you form better prompts to get the relevant answers? So this is a nice skill, or this is a skill that you must acquire uh, to stay up ahead, right? So yeah, like earlier, as I mentioned, in early days, people who know how to do Google were were able to do things faster and quickly and in a quality manner. But now people who can write better prompts, people who can work with LLMs in a better way, they will be the ones who will uh, stay up ahead. All right, the now this is the one that I mentioned a- at the start of the session. Like now, what will happen to IT jobs with AI? So for this, I kind of search through Twitter, I mean X, and so these are the the tweets uh, that various CEOs and industry experts have mentioned. So these comments or these tweets, they 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 uh, they 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 speak about the same concepts that we talked about earlier. So just to be sure, I just wanted to know the concepts that I mentioned are correct. So even through these tweets, we can see that that's correct. So now this is research done by uh, US Department of Energy. But interesting thing is this research they have done it in 2017, way before ChatGPT or generative AI comes into the picture. So in 2017, they were able to predict that by 2040, most of the code will be generated by AI, right? This is 2017, even before uh, these Gemini or these models come into the picture. So I think now, since they did not know about this kind of a thing, by 2030, I think most of the code will be generated by AI, and that is okay. So as we discussed throughout this presentation, yes, AI will generate the code, but you will be the modifiers, right? You will be the administrators of those codes, like doing the subtle changes, adhering to the nuances, the as the business requirements. So, so just to be clear, so let me show you that research paper. Now, this is that research paper. Like, so the research title is like, will humans even write code in 2040, right? Now, if you look at the date, it is 2017. So they did this research in 2017. So it's surprising and interesting that even in 2017 they are thinking in like that. So through this research, they have concluded by 2040 the code will be written by AI. Yeah. Now this is what CEO of Microsoft says, that AI won't replace programmers, but it will become an essential tool in their arsenal. It's about empowering humans to do more, not less. So that means with AI, those who can master AI, those who can use AI in an efficient manner, they will be able to do more things in a quality way. So that's a small video from Microsoft that I like if you guys can see it.
I think we're going to it was incredible things. My name for this vision is information at your fingertips. So, in a new era, information becomes access to expertise. From the board to the lab, from the boardroom to the classroom, this new generation of AI is prepared. Now, I can save time with
But it's a super sort of plan, and that's like that I can just things. It's a fat
and access a personal tutor to learn new skills. I mean, the bank says, look at the
they're reimagining the way everything else to
boundaries with a personal coach.
where to be able to have what insights that
To help you put in the hard work. AI has unlocked lesson plan with expertise.
So yeah. So now, finally, I want to, mention that now we all are living in interesting times. Like the world is changing rapidly. We are going through an industrial revolution. So, uh, throughout these tweets as well, they say that okay, IT jobs landscape is expanding, and then there'll be more jobs, more software engineering related jobs, not just AI. I mean, software engineering jobs will increase, but uh, who will be doing these software engineering jobs are the ones who know how to work with AI tools, platforms, chatbots, and everything. So those who can work with AI agents are the ones that can grab this opportunity, or even the ones who will do this industrial revolution. So yes, we are in an industrial revolution, but who are doing these industrial revolutions is you, right? Because you are, I believe, you will be the software engineers, and this industrial revolution is done by software engineering engineers who do great things. Yeah, let me look. Yes. So finally, the key takeaways is that to survive the next couple of years, your future career is you have to polish your fundamentals first thing, as I mentioned, as the first thing. Uh, Now, as fundamentals, you have to know uh, in terms of databases, what are relational databases. You have to polish your SQL. You should know how to work with NoSQL. You should know when to use SQL, or I mean when to use relational databases, or when to use NoSQL databases. You need to know principles like ACID principles. You need to know design patterns. You need to know solid principles. If I pick someone, or if I ask, I don't think even 1 to 2% of from the audience here know full solid principles to core, right? To explain intuitively. So you need to know that. You need to know things like law of Demeter, CI/CD, API first concepts, microservices, event-driven architecture. These are just a few, right? So it's hard, but now learning these things is very easy with AI. There are a lot to learn, there are a lot to capture, but now with AI you can learn these things, and it is a must. So if you are to successfully navigate this wave, the second point is that you have to accept that AI will do coding, right? There's no denying it. Of course, AI will do coding. Your colleagues will use AI to do their coding, but you need to have the ability to read it and uh, understand it, and ability to quickly integrate it to your solution. The next important skill that you need to have is understanding when to use AI and when not to use AI. That is a very important ability to distinguish problems from, okay, this problem is a problem that needs to have an AI solution, and understanding, okay, this problem does not have and does not need to have an AI solution. So that is skill you need to have. And the next part is you need to know how to integrate AI solutions into your part. So you will be a front-end developer. You will be sorry, either you are a front-end or a back-end or DevOps engineer or whatever. You need to know how to get the results given by an AI solution and use it. So integrating AI models into your part of the software life cycle, you need to know how to integrate those things. And then you need to know about how to form good quality questions, because if you know how to write good prompts, how to ask better questions, then you will be uh, on top of others. I mean, you will have the uh, better solutions, and you will have quality practices that you can leverage than others. The last thing is soft skills, right? Now, all of the above 5 points are related to engineering practices, right? How to work with software engineering, coding, and these things. The last point is, and another very important thing is soft skills. Yes, there will be AI agents that will generate code, but ultimately you will be working in an company. So you need to know how to work with others. You need to improve your communication ability. You need to improve the domain knowledge of whatever the solution that you are building, because now with AI agents will do the coding, but to understand whether this generated code is really the one which is required by the business, or uh, the problem that you are solving, you need to understand the problems. So you should have the ability to actually understand both in consumer perspective and in business owner perspective, because there is a business, the purpose of the business is to generate money. It's there to uh, be profitable, right? So you should know that. And then this, whatever the solution you will be building, it will be for there will be customers or consumers. So you should have the ability to look in from both of these angles, from the business perspective and even from the consumer perspective. Then only you can match these and relate whether this generated code or the implemented solution uh, is relevant to that. So you need to develop these soft skills, grab the domain knowledge, and if you master these things, so I mean, if you uh, be skillful in all of these points, you will have a successful career, uh, and you'll be able to uh, quickly navigate through the career ladder. So yeah, with that, I think I can wind up. There are a few more things that I needed to discuss, but with the interest of time, I'll stop here. There was a question like, how do we enter to AI industry, AI developing industry, without knowing anything about AI? So actually now, I'm not sure if you don't know anything about AI, right? Now, as I mentioned earlier, you don't need to know the math behind AI to enter into AI field, right? Now, with big players like Google, AWS, and Azure, they are implementing AI models or AI solutions so that any developer can work with AI. So you don't need to know every detail, the mathematics behind it, the calculations, so everything you don't need to know. If you know how to use these AI solutions or AI models, that is enough. Right now, for an example, let's take the Vertex AI platform. So with that, there are so many solutions. Even without knowing a single thing about machine learning, the core machine learning things, you can use those services. So that is the most important thing in the coming years. So uh, if you know machine learning and the math behind it and everything, yes, that's good. But uh, you but that is not enough, right? Now, even if there is a developer or someone who has done machine learning and understand how these mathematics behind it, like back propagation works, how these neural networks work, and the math behind it, there's there's no advantage for him knowing that, because now everything is behind an API. We just need to call that API and get whatever the solutions. So to enter into AI industry, so what I think, first ask the question like, am I really interested in AI, or am I going after it because of the hype, right? Because AI, there are two things in AI, like I mentioned. If you are into uh, building new machine learning models, so if we are to do things like fine tuning, if you are to uh, do transfer learning, if you are to do those kind of things, yes, then you need to know a bit of machine learning and mathematics behind it, like that. So that's one part of the AI, but that is very limited. I don't see uh, majority of the AI industry going to that. Maybe 10% of the AI jobs will be for training new things or implementing new AI models. About 80 to 90% of the AI jobs will be to use AI solutions. All right. So that is what I think. So first, understand if you really need, if your real passion is for AI. If yes, then you need to invest some time in understanding the data. All right. So the first step to enter into AI industry is knowing how to work with data. So you should know, maybe one option would be go into analytics, right? You should know how to implement dashboards or BI tools and everything, because you need to feel the power of data in order to enter to AI industry. So with that, so if you know how to work with data, if you can tell a story with data, or if you can tell the story behind these data, then that's a good indication. Okay, now you are ready to step into the real AI solutions. So that's how I think how you should enter to AI developing industry. Know how to work with data, clean data, uh, implement dashboards, implement data pipelines. You need to know about ETLs, extract, transfer, and load. So you have to learn about those things, do courses, uh, and then develop your personal projects. So that's the way to implement to AI landscape. And yes, AI landscape will also grow, because now right now are very kind of less AI jobs, but it's growing. There will be more AI jobs in 2025 than in 2024. So yeah, let me see if there are more questions. Yeah, I think that's it. If there's nothing more, Jani, over to you.
Yes, so thank you, Mr. Ashan. Actually, it was such an insightful session for the AI enthusiasts and tech enthusiasts who are just excited to explore the delve into the AI industry. So, thank you so much again for your valuable time for um, being here with us today to have this discussion. So, if you guys have any further clarifications to ask out, actually, let's take another 2 minutes. If not, we can proceed furthermore. So it's time to raise your questions or unclear things to just get clarified. Yeah, we'll see then. I think we have some questions.
Yeah, there are some questions in the silo, right?
Also, you guys can just scan this QR code and enter for the Q&A session. Yeah, it's over to you.
Yeah. So let me go from top. Uh, I have in my mind to choose data analytics side. That means AI. So how about the work life if I choose AI? Is that pressure? Okay. Good question. Like, is there pressure in doing AI? I mean, it's a normal thing in software engineering, right? The pressure comes in various ways, as I think, like uh, so as I have seen, the most pressure for software engineers or even for developers comes because they don't know the stuff. All right. So there are so many stories and everything. They are saying like, okay, I don't have work-life balance. I don't have enough time to do my stuff. Um, so I think ideally with the introduction of artificial intelligence or with this AI, this pressure should somehow get reduced um, because now we can do stuff very quickly, right? Uh, the number one reason to get pressured is because developers or software engineers don't know the basics and don't know software engineering. That's the reason they are being pressured. The second one is how to handle your coworkers, how to handle managing time and mainly your attitude, right? So if you are loving what you are doing, then I don't think it's you consider that as pressure. Um, yes, there is pressure, not just by coming to AI side, even for normal development, QA, project management, business analysis. Yes, there is pressure, there is enough work, but so if you find a way to love what you are doing, then I don't think you will categorize that as a pressure. So my advice is uh, try to have a positive attitude and then try to see the beauty of the things that you are doing. Um, all right. So DevOps engineers, I just saw in the chat like uh, DevOps engineers don't have much pressure. No, like I mean they have, right? Because DevOps is not just CI/CD. They have to always keep on monitoring. Okay, what are the other software engineers are doing? Are they over budgeting the resources? Like they have to keep in track. So we as software engineers try to use much as resources as there is. But with DevOps engineers, they are one of their job is to keep on monitoring what kind of resources, what kind of tools software engineers are using. So uh, they have to work with software engineers, talk with software engineers, and uh, kind of guide them to use better resources. Like when I say resources, it's like machines, compute instances, cloud services. So that I don't think DevOps engineers have less pressure. So pressure is always there, but it's matter of how you are looking at it. Okay, the next question is uh, what are the best platforms to learn about AI and keep uh, yeah being updated? All right. There are this now with AI now the trend is like you need to know about reg architecture because most of companies and there will be many opportunities for implementing reg solutions. And one good resource is this machine learning dot AI by Mark Nugan. So I think I can't remember his exact name, but use Twitter X. I mean, I use Twitter a lot, uh, and you need to subscribe to these major uh, companies like Google, AWS, and then OpenAI, and then the startups that who are implementing new things. You have to subscribe to them. With that, you will know okay what kind of things are happening and in which direction the industry is going. So Twitter is X is a good platform to stay updated. I don't recommend Facebook. Facebook should be just for fun and everything. But even Twitter, you just need to subscribe to the relevant channels and then organizations there. Again, YouTube is a good platform, but they are I don't recommend their recommendation system in recommending the new things, right? For me, X works. Um, yeah, so subscribe to all these new channels and startups, then you can stay ahead. Um, is that true in Sri Lanka? It is hard to find intern related AI than software engineering intern. Right now, yes, I need to be frank and uh, to tell you the truth. Yes, right now finding AI related internships is hard than software engineering. I mean, finding software engineering interns, and I don't think and recommend going for a AI engineering internship. Right? Yes, I do AI. Uh, I work as AI technical lead, but I don't recommend you to firstly start with AI. Because even for me, right, I worked about 3 years, 3 to 4 years as a full stack engineer. Uh, so I know from front end to back end most of these tech stack, even DevOps and everything. With that knowledge, with that context, I transitioned into AI. So having that a good context about the whole software engineering uh, stack, it's a very plus point for me to implement AI solutions because I know when I am implementing AI solution, I know okay, I have to do this so that these front end, the back end, the DevOps, so that they can easily use these solutions. So use these results my AI models are outputting. So I don't recommend straight away going to AI. I recommend you to learn software engineering first. Learn the software engineering stack and then transfer into the AI part if you really like, right? Um, Yeah, sure, Jani. All right. Let me choose another one. So can we train machine learning models like GANs on a Mac? If not, what are some alternatives that all right, it got. Yeah, I mean, we can't really powerful ones. We can't really train on Macs. You have to use cloud solutions. Like there are so many open source ones as well. So very uh, that does not cost so much. I can't remember the name, but I, once I found, I will forward this to one of the organizers. But you should not use your Macs or laptops to use train powerful LLMs or even GANs, because it's going to take so much time, and I don't recommend their results, because their power is not enough to train a good working GAN, right? All right. So with that, I think uh, with the time, I'll stop for the day. But so if some organizer, maybe Jaini, if you can forward these questions, I'll try to answer them, and then we can send these answers to uh, through a chat or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Actually, it was such a, I mean, an energetic session, because I think the audience is excited on AI and other AI related trends. And actually, it was so nice to see that you guys have just clarified your questions and they were so strategic, actually. So, with that, um, again, we would like to thank Mr. Ashan Priyadarshana, the technical lead of Cisco Labs, for being here with us to the July Tech Talk with AI Driven Sri Lanka. So now it's time to felicitate our token of appreciation, and we would like to invite you to accept that on behalf of us.
All right. Thank you for having me. Wish you all best. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So now it's time to take our group photo before winding up the session. So let's involve with that actually. Please turn on your cameras and let's have the group photo. Okay, so thank you so much, you all. And I think today's session was a very insightful session, and that was a good opportunity for you all to know about your destinations on the AI field. And also, we cordially invite you all for our further sessions. And stay tuned with us for the upcoming month Tech Talk as well. So, I'm the host for the day, Chandran Shagada, and I wish you all the very best. And yeah, stay safe. Thank you. Good night, you all.